Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning and happy Saturday. If you can hear me, do let me know in the comment section so we can get started. This is going to be like an hour. Well, it depends on how many people join us. So, guys, come on in, like and share as they come in. And let's get it started. Happy Saturday, wherever you are. We are also still going to be expecting about 26 degrees of sun here today in Glasgow. So I want to enjoy the weather today. I want to enjoy the weather because the summer in Glasgow is non-existent. So anytime there's sun like this, everybody wants to be out and about. So just a couple of seconds so that others could join us. And please like and share as a comment. I really appreciate it, guys. So like and share, guys. Like and share. Like and share, my people. And you guys should start taking attendance. So take attendance in the comment section so I know who is here and who is not here. We need to start taking attendance. Start taking attendance. So I think there's a few of you watching me already. So we're just going to get started. I just need to add a few things to my page. Okay. Like and share as a comment, guys. Like and share. Like and share. If you can hear me, guys, let me know in the comment section. If you can hear me, do let me know. And please like as a comment. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to get some images in here. So let's stick with this one. Okay. So that's us. So I'm sure you guys know I've been obviously in the past a week and a half or two, I've been following Ifunanya's story. And obviously, like I said to you guys last week, I'm off for the weekend and obviously off till next Wednesday. I've gone back to watch all of our part stories. Yeah, I've gone on to go back. I've gone back to our page to go watch pretty much everything, all the videos on our channel from when she started talking about our journey to Nigeria. And I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't help myself. Thinking that if that was me, what would I have done? And also to you guys also out there, if that was you, what would you have done? What would you have done differently? What would you have done differently, if at all, if there's anything from Ifunaya's story? Because for me, I found it to be like an eye opener. Like I said, I had to go back and watch all of our videos again. Let me share the screen to our channel with you. So we might as well maybe watch the first of our story and also watch the last one, which I believe is the most important one that all of us have seen, and we're quite happy with it. I hope you guys can see my screen here. So let's go to our first video that detailed what happened. So we're going to watch the first one and then maybe the last one of our dad. So let me see if I can find the first one. So I think it's this one. Let's watch this one of where she went home for the first time, maybe the first three. So we watch this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We watch this 4, and then I just want to put it out there that what would you have done differently if that was you? Obviously, I don't know if Ifunanya was born in the US. I don't know if she was originally born in the US, or maybe she was born in Nigeria and then went to the US. Guys, if any of you have that information, please let us know in the comment section. So let's quickly watch these first 4 videos of her. And guys, I also want you to remember that even though she was not born in the US, that's me just assuming now, at least she knew what Nigeria looks like. And let's also assume that if she was born in the US, like originally born and bred in the US, we all know how that children who are born in diaspora, we all know how they behave or how they would have reacted to a case like this. In fact, for me, my own children, because I did not give back to them in Nigeria, I could tell how they would have reacted if, God forbid, they found me or their dad in that situation. You know, abroad children, we always say that they don't have the energy for trouble. Hello, Chiamaka. Hello, Top Flock. I see you. We all often say that children who are born in diaspora, that they don't have the energy for trouble. If something is too huge, if something is small, if something is coming to them, if something is coming across them as trouble, if something is going to stress them, we all know that they will just do away with that thing. So let's watch the first 4. And then, like I said, if that was you, you're welcome, Chiamaka. How are you? Top Flock said, oh, it's 5:46 a.m. Still up for sleep. Hey, yeah, you can just be listening as a background voice. Okay, so like I said, guys, if that was you, would you have done anything differently? If at all, if there's anything at all, would you have done anything differently from what Ifunanya did? And also, did you find this as an eye opener? Because for me, I definitely found this testimony as an eye opener. And also taking into consideration if this was a child born and bred in the United States. Like I said, most of them, we often think that most of them don't like energy. They don't have energy for trouble. Do you think a child born in diaspora will go back to Nigeria, and upon the first time when that child was chased away, do you think that child will go back the way Ifunanya went back, and fought for her dad? So these are the questions I'm putting out there. And like I said, guys, I'm going to just maybe share what the first 4 videos of our channel, and then open the floor for you guys. I'm going to drop the link and let's have a discussion, because this is a discussion I want us to watch. And also, guys, I see you guys, please like and say hi as a comment. And also, one thing I've not seen a lot of people discuss is the fact that Ifunanya did not say, I went to my pastor. And that has taught me a great lesson. From all the parts of her testimony, there was nowhere where she said, I went to my pastor for advice. I went to my pastor for spiritual support. There was nowhere in any of her videos where she mentioned pastor. And that's a lesson for us, that there are some things you need to go to God to yourself. There are some things that you need to go into your own private space and seek the face of God. Yes, there are some things she's gone on to show us that there's an important aspect of having a close and personal relationship with God. Because, I mean, how many of us nowadays can say, oh, anything happening in our life, we have never run straight to go and meet a pastor? Yes, me, I'm one of them. I'll be like, I just go and speak to my pastor. But this young lady showed us that it is not all the time you run to your daddy GO, that you run to your pastor for advice. Don't get me wrong. If it seems like everything seems confusing, if it seems like you don't know how to find your way, you might want to do that. But also, God says, seek me first. So that's just something I also want to point out, that, you know what, this young lady, at no point did she say, I went to my pastor said this. I went to my pastor said, bring this. I went to my pastor said, don't do this. There was no time in any of these videos that she said any of that. So let's watch this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you guys can, and I'm going to drop the link, and you guys can, you know, come on in and share your views.
Prostitute! Daddy, I'm here! Please! Daddy, I'm here! Please, Daddy, I'm here! They have not allowed me to see my father in 6 months. I'm here and they're throwing sand on me. What did I do?
Since August, but that's in 3 months.
So that's the first video there. So Tough Lot said, she is very brave. I'm not sure I will have done anything different. when met with the resistance that she did, I don't know if I will have had the strength that she did. She is strong and brave. Thank you so much for dropping that honest opinion. And this is what I'm wanting those of you watching me to drop in the comment section, or if I drop the link, you can come up here and say, because like I said, I don't know if Ifunanya was born and bred in the United States. And I'm keep saying it. Our broad children are like ajebota. They don't have the energy that a born and bred child raised in Nigeria would have. I can confidently tell you that a child born and bred in diaspora, for the fact that he or she met that forced resistance, they might not go back. They might not go back. They might not go back. But this young lady stood there. You could hear her saying, what, saying her name out in a local dialect, like, it's Ifeoma, Mokwa, Peter, this, that. She said it in her native tongue, So that's that first video there. Let's go on to watch the second one. The second one that she did. Okay, guys, we're not watching everything. I just want us to obviously have a contest. All right.
Hello. I just wanted to come here and basically give a disclaimer and also some context to the video that I posted. The first disclaimer is I will not be shamed out of my testimony. The Holy Spirit came to me and told me that this testimony needs to be told. My story needs to be shared. So whether one person looks at it or no one looks at it, I know that I am following and obeying the will of God and bringing my story to light. Secondly, I am not going to allow the internet to do what the internet does. You know what that means. I'm not going to listen or be reading into the comments of men when my true understanding comes from the comments of the Word of God. So with that said, that video that I posted January 12, 2022 forever changed my life. Prior to that date, for 6 months, I didn't know if my father was dead or alive. My father, back in 2019, moved to Nigeria, moved to Anambra in particular, to basically live out his Igbo boy dreams. He had built a
Igbo boy
house, he
dreams.
had worked for New York City for 25 years, and he was retiring on time, he was retiring healthy, and he just wanted to go back home and be with his family, live in his home that he had literally suffered and toiled for being in America all this while. I respected it, and I felt like him moving to Nigeria would obviously create a new chapter in his life, especially after retirement. And so we welcomed it with, open arms. And I was literally there to send him off when he was flying. And after that, my dad kept in touch. He would call once a week, call for birthdays, call for Christmas, call for holidays. And it wasn't until
I've just seen a comment from Music. Music said the father put his daughter at risk. Why won't nobody talk about that? Music. I don't understand why. Obviously you are allowed your opinion, but I'm going to drop the link at some point. I really want you to come and explain why you think or how you think her father put her at risk, because you heard that she said no. What, there was like 6 months where she did not hear from her father, that she did not knew if her father was alive or not. So this her dad, just like she said in the beginning, that her dad retired early and he was going back home, to go live out his Igbo boy life. Just like every of us here, that when you are abroad, you finish working, you're retired. Most people want to retire back home. There's no crime in retiring back home. And obviously, our father thought he had a family who loved him. But from what we've heard from Ifunanya's testimony so far, it doesn't seem like those family love him, allegedly. So, like I said, we're just gonna play the first 4 videos of our channel, and I'm gonna drop the link here. So feel free to come hear your views and let us know why you think our father put her at risk, because at the time she found her dad, there was nothing even her father would have been able to do to prevent those things that Ifunanya experienced when she came for him. We saw the video of what the dad looked like. Do you think our father at that time had any strength or even any energy to be able to stand up and say, oh, let my daughter in? We all saw how frail our dad was. So even if our father, okay, let's even agree that our father put her at risk. What do you think our dad could have been able to do at that instance that he heard a voice downstairs. You can imagine, and that was at the top of the building, at the top floor of the building. That is if he even heard her shouting. So even if Nas dad heard her shouting, what do you think he would have been able to do at that instance? What do you think he would have done? Somebody is, a father was locked in a room. You saw the videos. So let's keep watching. And yes, like I said, I'm going to drop the link. You can click on the link and come and hear your views. At least we are learning here. Like I said, our story is an eye opener. Just like you have your opinion there, we all have our own opinion, all right? And I'm not faulting you for like, no, we are all learning, okay?
The end of 2021, I was noticing some distance. I wasn't hearing from him as much. My life was equally as busy, so I didn't put too much thought into it. However, I did find it a little odd, given the fact that my dad and I have such a close relationship. It wasn't until 6 months in that I realized I haven't heard from this man. I would call him. I bought him an iPhone. I would call him with the iPhone, send money for credit. Meanwhile, my dad is on retirement. Money is not his problem. I will send money for retirement. I will send money for this, send money for that. Still no word. It wasn't until I started to ask some really, really big questions that my uncle and my aunt in the videos now began to pull back and be hesitant to pick up my calls. For 6 months, I didn't know if my father was dead or alive, because when I would call, my auntie would tell me he stepped out, he's sleeping, oh, she's cooking in the kitchen, she doesn't want to go upstairs, blah, 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 just excuses. So when I went to Nigeria, the Holy Spirit told me, it's time that you check on your dad and you see the physical state of him and make sure that he's okay. I toyed with the idea, like, what did I do? I'm not a serial killer. I'm not a criminal that my dad would literally stop talking to me. Is he dead? I would have dreams of his body being hidden in the back. I would have dreams of him crying at night, calling my name. I would have all these series of dreams. And these were the seeds God was planting inside of me to prepare me for this day. So with January 12, 2022, I fly from Lagos Airport to Anambra Airport, and I drive down to Enugu, which was maybe like a 15-20 minute drive. And what I saw, no Nigerian movie could prepare me for it. I saw a huge heap of sand blocking my father's gate, which told me nobody can come in and nobody can come out. And clearly, because of this, barrier, it made it very hard for me to have access to the gate. So when I finally did climb the sand pit, my uncle.
So music said, not putting your child as P of A if divorced, being naive to think the family you left 40 years ago are the same, not doing soft landing first. Apparently, we don't know that part, if he's been back home every now and then or not. And I want to believe that most of Ifunaya's father's family, I think half of them are also in the US. And I think it's just maybe like 3 of them. And that was Uncle Charles, Uncle, the one in Abuja, and the auntie. I want to believe that those are the 3 siblings that are in Nigeria. So I think Ifunaya's father, there are like 8 siblings or so. So the older siblings, most of his Ifunaya's father are all in the US. So it's just the 3 people. So yes, obviously this is another lesson for us as well, that you know what, I think at some point I heard or I read somewhere that Ifunanya once had the POA, and then he took it off her and then gave it to his brother, allegedly. I don't have a confirmed details about that, but I think I heard that from another live stream, that Ifunanya once had it. I think one of Ifunanya's uncle did say that. I think it was the Uncle Chris, when he wrote his own episode, that Ifunanya once had the POA, and that allegedly Ifunanya was squandering her father's money. That was why her father changed it to Uncle Gabriel, allegedly. So maybe it was an error on his side for changing, the POA from Ifunanya to his brother. And yes, this is another lesson as well. Even family, friends that you've left 40 years ago, they can never be the same person you left 40 years ago. And also, like I said, this is another lesson. If you're going to return back home, make sure you are going back and forth before you just finally decide to carry your bag and go finally. Don't just wake up after 40 years and say, oh, okay, I'm going back to Nigeria. Or more, that's going to be a very, very hard. You'll learn your lesson in a very hard way. And also, I believe that was a mistake Ifunanya's dad made. And also, I won't even say it as a mistake because he believed his family loved him. He believed he was going back to his siblings. They are siblings from the same mother and the same father. So I don't think he thought they would ever treat him that way. So he still looked at them as families. And obviously, like I said, this story is an eye-opener for every one of us. The family you think love you might not actually love you. And this talk of blood is thicker than water, or more as it is now, water is thicker than blood. Because like I said, to me, this is an eye-opener. And like I told you guys, I had to go back throughout of yesterday. I was back and forth watching all of our testimonies again because I could resonate to a few. I could resonate to a few of the things she shared when it comes to siblings, father, siblings and stuff. I've got my own story as well. So, like I said, let this be like a learning curve, and also it's an eye-opener for each and every one of us, okay?
Uncle and my auntie saw me and began saying, how dare you? I'm gonna kill you. You're a prostitute. You sleep in hotels for months on end, and I am just confused.
I agree with you, Chiamaka. Chiamaka says sometimes our dads don't think from a different angle. Blood, they say, is thicker than water. And our African dads identify more with their siblings. Exactly, Chiamaka. Like I said, that I could resonate because I have my own experience of this part of, fathers identifying more with their own siblings than with their own children that they brought into this world. You are spot on, my sister. Absolutely spot on.
What did I do?
I'm just here to check on my dad. Is he here? Where is he? Daddy, are you okay? Screaming because now they're throwing sand on me and laying curses and abuses.
And Auntie Joe have literally been throwing sand on me. See, you see this? You see this? You see this? You see this evil?
All this while I'm just literally trying to find my dad. And the testimony and the story is gonna then follow exactly what had been happening since then. Again, I will not be shamed out of my testimony. Family drama. You know how many family dramas are in the Bible, and yet God has exposed those family dramas to give light to His grace, His glory, His honor. So I don't see any problem with me sharing my family story, especially when I know that that family story shows God's grace, glory, and honor. I will not be bullied. I will not be shamed out of this testimony. I ask for some patience because the Holy Spirit has put it on me to give this testimony, and I want to do it justice. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking with all of you guys as I post these series of videos. Thank you, and God bless.
So that's that.
Hello, everyone, and
this is the part 2. Okay, this is the part 2. So after this we have one more video, and then I will drop the link so that you guys can phone in. All right.
Welcome to, I guess, like part 2 of my testimony. Before I go into my testimony, I want to read Psalms 121, and I'll be reading verse 1 to 2. I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Amen. So after the insult, after the physical attack, I was completely covered in sand. I could actually at one point not see. Some of the youth and other villagers started to kind of basically crowd around because they were hearing the yelling and the noise and all the things that was happening, the commotion. Obviously, this voice doesn't change, so they could already tell that something was off because I didn't sound local. I began to explain myself that I'm the daughter of Peter. I'm the first daughter. I've come all the way from America.
I know you don't know, but see me as your daughter. I've come all the way from America. I've come all the way from America to see my dad. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing.
The the youths, when they started to kind of hear my story and when whispers started to get around, the youths were rallying up to literally beat the out of my uncle and my aunt, because for them, they saw it as an abomination and as a taboo that the daughter of the first daughter, in fact, of the first son of that household will not be allowed into her father's compound. So now the youths are getting rallied up, and people don't know what to do. So the Anowu of our community basically decided to call the police. Number one, I was assaulted, and number two, to calm the crowd down, because at this point in time, the tide was turning against my uncle and my aunt. When the police now came, they said, listen, ma'am, you've been physically assaulted. You know, what do you want to do? I said, please, can we just hold off on pressing charges until I find the whereabouts of my father? At that point in time, my uncle and my auntie began screaming and yelling, he's in Abuja, he's in Abuja. I have a text message that I'm going to post up here where my aunt is literally confirming that my dad is in Abuja. And a quick context, I knew my dad wasn't in Abuja because the reason why I was always checking on my dad is because, unfortunately, December of 2021, December of 2020, my dad had a stroke in Nigeria. I had fought for him to come back to America for proper medical treatment, but according to him, he was okay, he was fine, you know, he was seeing a doctor in Anambra. I didn't trust it, I didn't want it. He's a US citizen, come and get the proper medical treatment, but he refused and I could not force him.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I just let him and his family basically plan out his care, but I was always on top to make sure my dad was okay. But after December 2020, basically, I was noticing my dad's state of health decreasing, and I was constantly having issues with my aunt and my uncle in feeling like they were purposely making him stay in Nigeria rather than him come to America for proper medical treatment. So fast forward now back to the present time, I found it hard that a stroke-ridden man could now endure 9+ hours on the road from Anambra to Abuja. And then whether he went by plane, I don't know, but something was just telling me my dad did not go to Abuja, nor was he in Abuja. So when the police now realized that it was a welfare check that I was making on behalf of my dad, they told me that I was obviously allowed into my father's compound, and that, you know, I should, you know, go into my father's compound and be rest assured that nothing would happen to me. When I got into the compound, it was more yelling. Villagers were still asking questions. Why did my uncle, my aunt feel the need to verbally and physically assault me? And they began making more lies, but nobody was believing them. It was just kind of like, what is going on? And that's something that I want to share, that when you do wickedness, you actually have no common sense. Like,
exactly,
the Holy Spirit, God cannot let you do something evil and think that you literally checked off every single box. So the wickedness that my uncle and my auntie were trying to sow in the people, all you needed was common sense to realize that these two individuals were lying. Eventually, it started to get really late at night, and people were kind of like getting restless because there wasn't really any new developments. And my uncle and my aunt now called my uncle Christopher, who's also a relative and the brother of my father, and he went on speaker to say, hey guys, I am in Abuja. Yes, Peter's in Abuja with me. I'm so...
Can you imagine such lies? Even though our father was lying helplessly in the front of the building, this young lady was standing. Like, I'm still trying to understand why they kept him away from her. And they tried so many attempts to not allow this girl see her father. Like, you know, guys, I've watched these videos multiple times and I'm still like, gosh, what would I have done differently if I found either of my parents in that situation? Or what do I think my diasporan children would have done if they found, God forbid, either me or my husband in that situation? So that's the purpose of this live stream here. What do you think she should have done differently? what do you think she should have done differently? Do you think that from at all, if there's anything at all that you think she should have done differently, what do you think she should have done differently? And what would you have done? Let's say, for instance, we did not hear about Ifunanya's story and you observe this. What would you have done? What would you have done? Like I said, this is an eye opener for me. Okay, it's not as if maybe I don't know about these things, but this is an eye opener for me. But let's listen to this last one, and then the link
so
to the links to come hear your views is in the comment section, and I'll start taking the call. All right.
I'm not home right now, or I would have given Peter the phone. Please, let's all come back tomorrow, and I'll put Peter on the phone so that we can all talk because it's getting very late. When the villagers heard that, when some of the people heard that, they said, okay, Peter's in Abuja. When I heard that, I looked around just so dazed and so confused, and an older woman looked at me and said, lies. They're lying. Your father is upstairs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to...
So that's that about that. So the link to call in is now on. So that's all we're going to watch on Ifunanya's channel. Okay. If you want to watch any of our videos, I've got them on my channel. I've uploaded them there. You can go watch them without any breaks. Okay. So the link to the call is now on the screen, and come hear your views here. Like I said, so for me, like I said, this is an eye opener for me, and as much as it may mean different things for different people, it definitely shows the power of determination, being resilient, strength, courage, and much more, whatever you want to call it, much more. I think it's because I removed myself from the screen. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? So like I was saying that how's the audio now, guys? I know I've not muted myself. There's audio now. Great, thank you. So just like I was saying earlier on, that from me, Ifunanya's story is an eye opener for us, especially for me. I don't know about you guys, okay? In as much as it may mean different things for different people, it definitely shows the power of determination, resilience, and strength and courage. And I think it's some of the things we should try and instill in our children, regardless of where, if they were born in Nigeria or if they were born in diaspora. See, with this testimony of Ifunanya, I pray God I never find myself in this situation, because abroad children, like I told you, abroad children don't have energy. They don't have strength for wahala. They don't have strength to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because like I tell you, a child born in diaspora, if they say something that's going to stress them, they will just leave. They've tried. They will say, oh, I tried my best. They will just leave. They will just leave. And also, if now has showed us that we shouldn't be silent by evildoers. You don't wait until the evil is done to you. It could be your neighbor. It could be your daughter, your friends, your daughter's friend. I mean, one of my daughter's friend here, they went to school together. I know she's in the care system, but we've known her for almost 12 years. She's like my fourth daughter. I pretty much, comes in every day, check up on her, So I'm not going to say because she's in the care system and she's my daughter's friend that I should keep her out. No, I've brought her in. So we should not be silenced by evil, because the people who do evil will try to silence us. And that, like I said, there are hundreds of stories. It's the one that we know about, that we know. And yes, Yoruba people used to say "Ogbo logbo laughing kogbo." That is from people's experiences that you will learn. You'll be able to say, "Oh, this thing, it's similar to so. How will I solve the situation? What will I do differently?" Because yes, this is somebody else's testimony, but there are lessons for us to learn from it. Okay. And yet people have tried to stop Ifunanya from telling our truth. The uncle came out here to let us know exactly what actually happened, which also opened our eyes to the fact that this family never loved our mom. So it is the hatred, the not loving our mom that they have left over was what has actually been transferred onto her, which was why they decided to act that way towards her when she went to go her father's house. Like, how would it feel that you go to your father's house to go see your father, and your father's brother and sister chased you away? You are not a bastard. Why would they do that if they don't have anything to hide? So yes, some people have negative comments about her, and even some people were like, "Oh, why are you sharing this story?" Blah 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 blah. I'm sharing it because I could resonate to some of the things she said in the story, and the kind of, like I said, determination, resilience, strength, courage. I will want that in my children as well. And also, I know this generation that we have, this Gen Z generation that we have, you cannot keep them silent. They are that like they're a foundation, or that like they're a situation that they're a foundation that you cannot shake. Yes, you cannot shake them. That's one thing I want you to know. You cannot shake this generation at all. Audio is fine. Thank you, Abby. You cannot shake this generation at all. So for me, maybe I should start with me. I don't think I will have done anything differently from what Ifunanya has done so far. Maybe at first, like I said, when they decided that, oh, your father is so, I would have believed them, because I wouldn't have thought that they wouldn't want me to see my father. She went there, she was told, your dad is in Abuja. But obviously, because she's been a smart girl, she's like, no, dad suffered stroke. How will she be able to have traveled 9 hours on the road to do so? So maybe at that point, I would have caused Surutu. Or maybe at that point where the elderly woman told her that, lies, your father is upstairs. Maybe at that point, I would have gone back to a police station and say, today, we must enter this house and take my father out. But then who knows what the outcome will have resulted in? Would that mean that our father will have come out alive if she had done that? So, like I said, yeah, even I herself did say that, oh, people were like, oh, why did you go and not come back? Why did you go and did not take your dad away? Especially when she had to go away. When her dad was moved, she did not see her dad for 3 days, So, guys, the link to the call for you to add your call is in the comment section. Let me hear your opinion. What would you have done? Like I said, for me, I don't think I would have done anything differently. Maybe I would have given them gas bills. Maybe I would have given them water. Like, no, I must see my dad. So if I don't see my dad, I'm not leaving. But like I said, we all do things differently. And also, when I started this live stream, I did say that, I love the fact that throughout Ifunanya's testimony, there was nothing about, I went to my pastor to tell me what to do. There was nothing like that, which is also a way to let us know that you need to form your own personal relationship with God. You need to have that personal relationship with God. See, even if you don't go to church, even if you don't go to all this, whatever they do, crusade, if you go into the corner of your room and you speak to God, God will answer your prayers. You don't have to go and do 7 days on the mountain somewhere. And this is a child who has an adult life in diaspora. So let us learn to, have our own relationship with God. Hello, Chiamaka. Welcome. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think you're quite far away. Maybe if you move closer, your volume is quite low.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
much better now. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I just want to share my view, right?
Yeah.
Uh, like actually experiencing something similar to what you just
Okay.
shared. Like how we know is actually what I call it is actually prevalent in the African countries, in the African countries, right? And especially Nigeria. I'm an Igbo, Jamaica, and I'm an Nigerian. So I kind of understand the whole scenario, right? But in
Yeah.
my case, actually, the people fighting are not actually my uncles and my aunties, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then, but for each own, I think that this is my view. I think that before she actually went on, she knew the forces she was up against. Like if you listen to her videos, there was a time where she mentioned that she started having issues with her aunties and uncles because when she was trying to call her dad, they were giving
Mm-hmm.
excuses and things like that. So I believe that before she set out to Nigeria or to Anambra, she
Mm-hmm.
must have had, she must have understood what she was up against, and she must have had like opinions, all right? So
Mm-hmm.
now, when she came in, the fact of the section they gave her actually also, or like on picked up an alarm in her head. I was like, okay, so this is
Yeah.
how the whole story is actually going to go, right? And
Yeah.
then she was trying to assess the situation, and if you notice, she said something that she was led for every step she took, right? She was led. So it's not like she went on her own, like without any backing and everything. And if you
Yeah.
also hear her, there was a time she said when she was coming to Nigeria, she was having this fear that she was having this thought that she was going to have a skin crash and
Yeah.
everything. That she must have at some point backed up herself spiritually and then she was led. Yes,
Yeah.
physically we saw her like she was the only one there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
she also made mention of the fact that the Holy Spirit kept telling her things and thereabouts. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm using this myself as an example, right? To relate to what it is. In the scenario now, we're in the battle of in the aspect of praying before moving. Because I believe that if she had moved on her own, she said it towards the ending of her video that if she had moved on her own, her dad would probably be dead because she's so
Possible.
dead, right? And
Mm.
then the whole process was like an aftermath of is it an aftermath? They were sequential, right? Every step she took led to the final result that what we have. Okay,
True.
so for me, I think that the right step she took was the best actually because of the reason she got. So
Mm-hmm.
we can't actually do anything in situations like this. We can't actually do much, right?
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
when I think about myself, right? There were questions she asked her dad before she even do some stuff. She asked her dad, "Dad, can you recognize me, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you want to come to America?" And the dad said yes. You know
Mm.
that she needed at every point she needed the dad's consent. But if she had been in the scenario whereby she was trying to fight for her dad and her dad doesn't want to be forced for, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
she'd have actually done anything. So I
And
believe that all this thing boils down to the fact that she had vision, she had a direction. What we
yeah.
see as her wisdom is actually the wisdom of God. Because
Mm.
that might happen, might look normal to us,
Yeah.
is actually God lets us know that it's not normal. And then if we only trust Him, He will lead us to the perfect result, which is
Mm.
what we saw in Ifunanya's case. So for
Yeah.
me, I feel that if we have done it like based on human understanding, we would have actually made a lot of mistakes. So I don't think he would have done anything different, or I don't
Yeah.
think I would have done anything different because right now, for my own scenario, I'm learning to trust God for His reason. And to people, it seems that I'm being too slow, I'm not doing anything, that you're just there. You understand? But
True.
behind the scenes, they're actually working with God and then allowing Him to actually lead us. So thank you so much. This is my contribution.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Yamaka. It was lovely to hear your voice. Thank you so much for that. Right, guys, the link to join the call is in the comment section. So please click on it and we can take one more call. Thank you so much, Chiamaka. Thank you so much. Guys, please like this live stream for me. Um, please like this live stream, guys. And the links to the comment section, okay? If you want to join the live stream. Somebody's asking that what is Ifunaya's page. So I'm just going to type it in the comment section, okay? Our page is 6 Foot Amazon on TikTok. 6 foot Amazon. So if you type 6 foot Amazon on TikTok, you'll find that page there. So guys, we can still take 2 more calls. Okay, the link is in the screen or is on in the comment section. If you click on it, it will take you and you can join. So I can take 2 more calls. Okay, and then I just want you guys to know, obviously we are learning every day. What would you have done different? Chiamaka said that obviously, she was, trusting God, and also for the fact that she was being told that her dad was not there, that according to her, all she just wanted was do was like, oh, dad, this is just a welfare check. Apparently, I think Ifunanya was probably in Nigeria for something different. She just mentioned she was there for some businesses, but obviously because of the dreams she's been having, she decided to like, oh, let me go see him. So, like I said, there's lots of lessons for us to learn here, and also we should obviously speak to our children as well, like, what, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is what you do. Like for me now, my kids don't know all of my siblings, and I think we should also encourage ourselves letting our children know our siblings, letting them know them, maybe see them in person, speak to them. I know even that does not mean that they necessarily know the characters of our other siblings, but at least let them know. And also, if you are planning on going back to Nigeria, like I said, I've been doing some Jackpot series as well. Don't just go because you think you have that money. Don't just go. We've seen some people who have gone and they are not even alive to tell the story. They are not even alive to tell the story. So, like I said, this is not a matter of anybody shading anybody. It's just a matter of learning from someone else's testimony. And for me, like I tell you, this Ifunaya's testimony has opened my eyes in a lot of ways. Yes, it also goes on to show that doing gra is not going to solve anything for you. If Ifunanya had done things in gra, maybe the result she has now about her dad, she might not have had it. Maybe her own life might have even gone through it, because she was like, she knew the Queen private burial. If not, I've already dropped it there for you guys. And Mr. Ajibade, sorry, you can join in if you click on the link in the comment section. You can actually come hear your views. There's no need to share numbers here. There's a link where you can join the show. So if she had gone of her own accord without obviously listening to the Holy Spirit that was leading her, maybe her own life might even have gone to this, okay? Because at some point she said she knew they were doing black magic, they were using juju, and also how they spiritually set a trap for her. You remember when she went upstairs and she was like, this door has never in the history. Miss Ajibade, all right, okay, sorry for that. So she was saying that in the history of that house, that door has never ever been opened. Why was that door opened? So who knows what they've laced on that room or on that part to that door, to that place. You were like, no, we are not going through that. If it means we are going to break all the windows in this house to get to my father, we will. That was when we saw that video where they carried a lamb. They brought a ladder to say, okay, we are going to enter at one point. So I hope, like I said, I hope you've all learned here. Like I said, for me, maybe that night when she was told that, when she knew that her dad was in that house, if that was me, I don't think I would have left. I don't think I would have left without a fight. I don't think I would have left. And like I said, it just goes on to show that even patience at times, I know most of us, we don't have patience. Even patience at times could solve a lot of things for us. So she was patient. She went. After 3 days, she came back and everything, she was able to put things into motion. She was like, now today, I had to get my papa out of this place. And also, like I said, when it comes to power of attorney, you don't even necessarily have to give a power of attorney to your children. But for me, I would rather my children have a power of attorney over me, because my children have lived with me their entire lives. They would know what I would want if I'm not able to make that decision for myself again. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, because I saw a post as well where this person was like, you don't have to give that. I'm not telling you to give a power of attorney to your children. Me, I would give power of attorney to my children. I will give POA to my children, because like I said, I raised them. They lived their entire lives with me. Why would I want to give a power of attorney to my brother or to my brothers? Why would I want to give a power of attorney to my sisters? Why would I want to give a power of attorney to an uncle or an aunt? When nobody say they move kai or they mix kai into my food? No, I would rather give the power of attorney to my children. God forbid I fall sick tomorrow, I'm not able to make or give a consent for a treatment for my life. My children will know that our mom loved life. Our mom likes to dress up. Our mom would be happy to go ahead with this surgery. So I am signing and giving you consent to go ahead. You have to save my mom. But some family member, knowing what you have, they would say, oh, I don't think this our uncle, this our brother will want to live in this kind of situation. Remove the plug. God forbid that for us. Yes, that is what somebody would tell you. Remove the plug. Mm-mm. Me, I'm advocating that your children, as long as they are of age, I mean, you can give power of attorney to an individual who is 18 years and above. Obviously, you can't give below the. I understand if maybe you started having your children at a later age and your children are still young, that you think you cannot. But then it could even be a solicitor. It could even be a law firm, who's writing your will and stuff for you. It could be them. And then obviously there's going to be a clause. Once any of my children reaches the age of consent, put them in trust of my POA. So maybe your child or your oldest child is 15 years old, and you're like, you want to have a PO of attorney, but you can't put your child on because your child is 15 years old. If there's a law firm, obviously they will charge you for that service. If there's a law firm, you can put that law firm in there, like, okay, I want this law firm to have this power of attorney on me. But once my child turns the age of 18, I want that handed over to my child to have every decision over me, should in case a time comes in my life when I'm not able to make a decision for myself again. Mr. Ajibade said, never put all your hope and trust on your siblings. That is, in fact, at this age, nobody should even be telling us that. It's not as if, maybe, don't get me wrong, there are some families that, some siblings, they are close knit, they love themselves, like they love themselves, that they can go to the end of the world. But know your heart. It's only your heart that you know. Yoruba people say, that is, it's only your own heart that you know. You don't know the heart of the next person standing beside you. You don't even know, even if you are a twin, you don't know what is going on in the heart of that your twin towards you. It's only your heart that you know. So never put your hope and trust on your siblings. If you chose to do so, well, you have your reasons. But for me, my children, that is why I don't blame those who don't want to have children. I don't blame them. But look at this, in a situation whereby you end up in an hospital, maybe you suffer an infection, you suffer, maybe you are septic, and maybe you have sepsis, and they want to, they are letting somebody to sign a consent for you that, okay, let's go take this treatment, let's go carry out this surgery. But then they can't go ahead because nobody's willing to. Or the doctors are saying, this surgery, if you do it though, there's a 70% chance that you will survive, or there's a 30% chance you will survive. Some people will say, 30%, okay, there's no point, pull the plug. But your children will fight for you. Your children will fight for you. Okay, guys, I'm rounding up now. Like I said, obviously this is good. I think this is going to be my last take on Ifunanya's testimony, because as it is, there's no other videos on our channel, on our page just now. There's no recent or any, I've posted all of our videos on my channel. So if there's any other further update from her, definitely I'll bring it up here. But for now, this is going to be my last take on our videos. So those of you who started following me from Ifunanya story, if you love what I do here on my channel, please don't go away. Okay, stay subscribed. I pretty much share, I share news happening in Nigeria, news affecting Nigerians in diaspora, and also I'm an advocate for Say No to DV. I think this is going to be our last call. Hello, Sister Natu. How are you? Unmute yourself, my beautiful sister.
Hi, how are you? I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I just heard what you said at the end, and I wanted to share a story with you real quick before we
Yeah.
drop. So one of our mom is here. One time she was sick, she had a surgery, and she went into a coma. So she was on oxygen. So they said that her organs were failing, or I don't know the English. So she has 3 kids. At that time, her youngest daughter is still small. Her 2 kids were in residency, medical students, medical doctors. And then the husband was just like, he was up for let them pull the trigger now. They wanted to take her off the life, she was on life support, sorry. But her daughter She told the doctor. The doctor now said that, okay, what are we going to do? You can decide to take her off life support or you can leave her. The doctor said they will leave her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she told the doctor, if you take her this life support, I will burn down this hospital.
Can
That's
you
why that
imagine?
woman is still alive today. It's like 14 years now.
Can you
It's
imagine?
like, yes. So,
Mm,
and the woman was like, it was just God that was doing it for her because the husband just stepped out of the hospital. And the doctors were trying to reach him because he was the, like the next of kin or whatever, because of her husband. But he
mm-hmm.
was not there. So I believe that if he was there, he would have pulled the plug
I put the plug.
because it was costing money. But her kids were like, no, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna do that. They said they're gonna do something to her throat. The daughter said no. It was a lot of things, sha, but the kids were like stood by her, and that's why she's still here today. So the truth is that your siblings might like you, but they're not gonna love you to be much around like your children want you. That's just the honest truth.
Yeah,
Because they might have other siblings. Do you
yeah,
understand what I'm saying? And people
yeah.
can be very selfish. And like you said, people only know their self, they don't know the other person. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's in the other person's mind. Who would have thought that Uncle Gabriel would be doing that? You
Exactly.
understand? The account will
Being a
be
care,
empty. You go,
working in the care sector, being in diaspora, you're in an advanced world where human
you
life
would think
is
you will know
precious.
better. You
Exactly.
think you will know better, but he turns out I wanted to be the worst person. So
Mm,
honestly speaking, and this is also goes out to all the men that don't see their wives as family. Your
mm-hmm.
wife is not family, but your children are family. Make that make sense.
Mm-hmm. It's
Make that
crazy.
make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, we were doing a show yesterday, how men will mess up in their young age, treat
Mm-hmm.
their wives anyhow. When they go and fall sick, they now come back to that wife to take care of them. You people need to start doing that. Let me tell you something. You see this Gen Z, I've told you people, they're the ones that will fix this world for us. Because all
Exactly.
the nonsense and shenanigans that our parents have been taking, this ones they will not take. Oh. If you like,
True.
you hear people yesterday now, they say, I will love you from afar. I will
Mm-hmm.
help with money, but I will not take care of you because who has that
Exactly.
energy?
Mm.
Who has that energy? I
Nobody.
understand that, oh, don't return evil for evil. I'm not returning evil for evil, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not returning good for evil too. I'll leave you
Exactly.
alone. I'll
Exactly.
just leave you alone. I'll love you from where you are. And that's what it
Exactly.
is. So the earlier people learn to treat their partners better, the easier
But
for them.
absolutely.
I know somebody in this America that the children keep telling the mom, Mommy, don't worry. Let's just get our house. Daddy will see Shege Banza. So this guy, I'm not joking. So he does not know that his old age is about to be miserable.
Mm.
He didn't know that. But
Mm.
you're not treating your children right. You're not treating your wife right. What are you teaching your children? You're not teaching them anything.
Exactly. Mm.
You have to read from what you sow. What seed are you sowing in the life of your partner, in the life of your children? You have to sow something. Because if
Exactly.
you any farmer that does not go to the farm during rainy season, if you go during harvest time to harvest, you are a thief, sir. Because you went to
Exactly.
somebody's farm to go and harvest. You are a
Mhm.
thief. So
Absolutely.
you have to sow seed during sowing season.
Mm.
And if you don't expect an harvest. That's just
Harvest.
all I have to say. Honestly.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sister Natsu. Thank you for being
You're
here.
welcome, sis.
Thank you. David Black, hello, welcome. I'm just rounding up, guys. I'm rounding up. So we've got another 3 minutes. I can still take another call. So we'll just use that call to round up. Anybody wants to come in here and drop a few things. Like, guys, I've already most of my videos, the one I did on Father's Day, I pretty much was speaking to the men there. Okay. You can't say, I mean, I don't know what tradition is saying that your wife is not your family. And I'm sure I saw that post on Instagram maybe a year or 2 years ago where this man was like, I think it was an Igbo person actually who was like, okay, because you born picking now that I love my mother more than my wife. Okay, put your mama for bed. They knock your mama now. Abby, you love your mother more than your wife. If that love reached that extent, put your mama for bed. They knock him. Make your mama born children for you. So if you're still that kind of man who don't consider your wife a part of your family, it's just like me now. Having given, I mean, I met my husband at the age of 18 and I've been with my husband for 21 years, 5 children, and he now come and tell me to my face that I am not a part of his family. Omo, hey, I don't think I will ever hear such anyways. But if that ever happens, Omo, he must put me back to the way he met me when I was 18. He must put me back to the way he met me when I was 18. So if you're that kind of man who, like your wife has given you everything, stayed loyal to you, never treated you wrongly, and you're now coming to say your mother, you love your mother more than your wife. Okay, if you love your mother more than your wife, put your mama for bed, then can make she give you children. Because at the end of the day, Yoruba people always says that oh, once it be no kill or not to be, your parents already gave birth to you. It's up to you to reborn yourself. It's up to you to actually be a newborn yourself, so that the life you are living will emulate the life you're creating. Now you use your bloco stick bomb picking. You saw this woman, you decided to bring her into your life. She has created a life with you, and you're now saying that she's not a part of your family. Maybe you should have remained Father Abraham. I mean, maybe you should have remained father. Don't marry. Just stay as you are. And you cannot live that kind of life, not loving your wife, the mother of your children. Exactly, just like Sanatu said there, that what are you actually showing those children? If you have male children, what are you actually sowing into them so that they could also grow up and do the same to their wives as well? And we all know the children that we give birth to, whatever we do, they learn from us. They learn from us. So you don't want to raise children who would have such attributes of not loving their wives, or wives not caring for their husband. So there's a lot of lessons to learn for us here. And guys, I'm rounding up. I won't have an hour to spend here. So that hour is up. I'm going to read the last few comments and then we'll call it a day. Like I said, this is going to be my last take on Ifunanya's story. And if there's any latest video on our page, I will definitely bring it here and we'll discuss about it. Arikemi said, children are more family than wives. God, please. Exactly. Chiamaka said, they tell you that they didn't come to the world to slave for anyone. Children are more family than wife. Ow. I mean, I don't even see that, because at the end of the day, if you've not married that woman, you won't have any children. So if you're now even taking that children, if you're now placing your children over your wife, then that's wrong. It should be your wife and then your children, because you knew your wife first before those children came into your lives. Your wife came to you first before those children came into your life. So it should be your wife and then your children. You can't choose your children over your wife. And your children can't be more than your wife, because if that one was not there in your life, you wouldn't have those children anyway. So that's just how I see that. What kind of thing? She's already. Chiamaka said, isn't she the one that gave back? Exactly. How about the value? Exactly. The kids will leave, but your wife, exactly. I mean, I was having this conversation with my husband a few days ago, and he was like, come, this woman, if I offend you, you will forgive me, because come, our children, our oldest is 21 years old. At some point, all these children will grow, they will go on to live their own lives. You and I will be left in this house. So what you go do? When the children leave, now me and you go stay for this house. So if you want they pick fights with me, come, make you start to they forgive me as they pick fight with me, make you they forgive me straight away. And I'll just look at him like, come, Oga, you need to try again. You need to try again. You know, the same woman that is building that legacy for you, because at the end of the day, some men will say, my children are my world. So what is your wife to you? My children are my world. What is your wife to you? Because if the woman was not there in the first place, you can never have those children that you're now claiming are your world. I hope this is making sense. Chiamaka said, for clarity, your kids will create their own family, just like we are now. My parents gave birth to us. I left home 19 years ago. And I've now created my own family. I've created my own children. And by that, I have 5 of my own. As time goes on, my 5 children will leave home. And I mean, go remain. Because they are going to move on with their lives as well. Sanata said, Chiamaka, God bless you. Okay. Abby said, okay, but women choose their children before their husbands. Abby, there's no argument with that. Children, but you can never hear a woman say, my husband first. I mean, my children first to an outsider. Just like a woman cannot come and tell you that, oh, I love my father more than my husband. I don't think I've ever said that. The way men are saying, oh, they love their mother more than their wives. I don't think I've ever heard a woman say, oh, I love my mother or I love my father more than my husband. I don't think I've ever heard that. So maybe if you put it that way. Yes, women will also always say my children first, because at the end of the day, still, the wife will not say the man does not matter, but it's very, very easy for men to say, oh, my children first. Or the men that are saying, men with this, all of their tribes, or all of their tradition, the woman is not a part of my family. The woman is not a part of my family, even after 20 children, but not a part of my family. I love my mother more than my wife. I love my mother more than my wife. We heard it mostly from men. Abby said, because I'm not choosing my husband over my children either. But because what I'm trying to say here is the fact that some men will say they love their mothers more than their wives. I don't think I've ever heard any woman say, oh, I love my father more than, I mean, I don't think I love my father more than my husband. If we look at it, because yes, I've got my own childhood trauma as well. And thinking back to my own childhood trauma, I don't think I love my father more than my husband. No. Yes, I know my father was the first man in my life. Being my father is a conveyor of me into this world with my mother. But yes, he has created me once he be me, and I've now rebirthed myself. My parents already gave back to me. I am now my own. Like Moturami B. If there's a way to translate that in English, I don't know how to translate it. I don't know how to translate it in English that will make sense the way it made sense in Yoruba. On tó bá bíyàn tán, tó wọn bí ẹ bá ti bí ẹ, ọwọ́ ẹ ló kù sí láti tún rẹ̀ bí. Like, you know, your parents already mold you. It's up to you to remold yourself towards a life you want to live. I hope I'm able to pass that across. Guys, I'm rounding down. I'm rounding up. Abby said, I brought them into the world and I'll protect them at all costs over my husband. It's the same year. But I'm not going to say I love my father more than my husband. It's always going to be my husband, my children. Abby Chemaka said, I think it's because the husbands neglect them for sanity. She has to find her own happiness. And yes, that's what most women would do. If your husband starts to neglect you, it's your children, you move close, you grab closer now. Abby, you sure won't go outside and grab another man just because the one you have at home is neglecting you. It's easier for men to do such, but never an easy thing for women to do. So I think in that way, women will gravitate to, okay, I will know my children. If the man is not listening, my children are what I'm going to face. So Abby said, children don't ask to be brought to the world. Parents need to understand this. Absolutely. We hope the men listen. Yeah. So Abby Chiamaka is asking, what if there are no kids? Most of the time, people bring children into the world due to their own selfish interest, by the way. Yeah. The average Nigerian parents only bring children into the world because it's the next thing to do. Yeah, so that's what they expect you. Once you get married like this, start to pop babies. Balance is to love both without choosing. Yep. That's not a good enough reason to have children in the name of God. Okay. Women will say it after they have shown plenty shaking. Women will say it after they have shown her plenty shaking. True, I agree. Yeah. That's why they bring children into suffering. It's well. We all need to be intentional about our family at the end of the day. But in this Ifunanya story, men have the most reasons to lesson to learn. And also those in-laws, those aunties that refuse to get married, who can't let their brothers go. Go and find your own happiness somewhere and stop deriving happiness from your brother that is about to get married, because obviously Auntie Josephine has a part to play in not, in how Ifunanya's mother was treated. And the woman jejely just stayed. She knew she was never loved. She knew she was not loved, And I think I already shared my own experience here as well, that even my own age, there are some of my own siblings I don't even talk to. I don't talk to them, If I'm around them, all they bring me is trouble. And I'm like, come, each and every time I'm around you, all you bring to me is trouble. So I just keep them I do family with them from a distance. And there's a few of them that I've not even spoken to in years. And I'm not about to start because I have peace of mind without them. Eric Kemi said, but you won't rub it in your man's face at that be unlike how men would do. Like somebody actually put that post on social media, on Instagram. My wife is not a family, it's not a part of my family. And I'm like, come, so when you went to marry her, did you not vow you will love her till death do you part? That she's now yours. When two becomes one. So Abby said, Arikemi, I don't know the context, but I'd like to believe that both my parents will have had a conversation on what to do if it comes down to choosing. Possibly, yeah. Because that's what parents should do. Yeah, true. Anyway, guys, we're going to call it a day. Like I said, this is the last of my take on Ifunanya's story. If there's any new story from our page, I'll definitely bring it up here for us to discuss about it. With that being said, guys, Abby said, do we choose each other or give our children a fair chance at life? It's going to be give our children a fair chance. For me, it's going to be give our children a fair chance at life. That will be me. And yes, that conversation will have to be had by both, both the man and the woman. So yeah, obviously we shouldn't be choosing both. However, some tribes are choosing. Yeah, some tribes they choose. But for us, I think I don't want to make it be about tribal thing, but yes, just like Chiamaka said, that we should be intentional with our family, the family your own that you've created. Be intentional about them, what you want them to do. You don't want them to suffer. You want to be able to provide for them. You want to be there for them in all ramifications, emotionally, physically, spiritually, in all ramifications. You want to be there for them. And I know it's easier said than done, especially for me that have 5 children or more. At times like this, I get tired. It will be like say my head is fried. At times I get even tired in all ramifications, emotionally, spiritually. I get tired. And at times when I just come out from work, I just slam my door shut, like, all of you stay out. Yeah, there are times that I feel that way. There are times that, when they start, I just like, what, I can't. And yes, they know to leave me. And then when I reset myself, I know when to go back to them. So yeah, don't be like me. Don't have 5 children. I'm just telling you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I will see you guys later. So we have a live stream tonight. I can't even remember what live stream we have tonight. I think we are discussing about that man. No, we are discussing about the Nigerian grandmother that was fired over a misplaced bracelet. So that's a live stream we have tonight. No, not tonight. The one we have tonight is the Nigerian lecturer that was jailed. Yes, another Nigerian lecturer has been jailed in the UK for an inappropriate act towards a colleague. This Yeye man grabbed a colleague's VJJ. So that's the one we are doing tonight. And tomorrow, which is Sunday, we are going to be discussing Ife Dayo's talk on surrogacy. That topic has been long coming. I've been postponing it. So if you go on my channel, you will see all of those live streams there. So we are discussing the Nigerian lecturer tonight at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, we are discussing Ife's take on surrogacy. And then on the 23rd, we are going to be discussing the Nigerian grandmother. However, if any interesting topic comes, I might have to swap things around again. So with that being said, thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you at 7 p.m. tonight. All right. And have an amazing Saturday. Let me go enjoy our Scottish weather. We have 21 degrees right now. That's the weather right now. 21 degrees right now. And it's saying that it's going to rain tomorrow. Okay. Scottish weather. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. And if you're here and you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not yet done so, turn on your post notifications, share this video. And also, I am open to collaborations. If you have any videos, any titles you want me to talk about, or you want to be a guest on my channel, please feel free to join me. All right. And also, don't forget to join my membership. It's just a way of you supporting my channel. And if you're a small business and you want to advertise on my page, maybe during one of these shows, you want to advertise your product, feel free to send me an email and we can discuss budget and the likes of that. And I am affordable, guys. I am affordable. And yes, so I am receiving super chat too. I am receiving super chat. With that be, Arike, what are you saying? We shouldn't be choosing, but life happens. Le baton. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys later and have an amazing Saturday today. See you at 7 o'clock. All right. And in case if I go on Instagram now and I find any interesting topic, I might be back in a few hours. Yeah, that's how this content creation thing works. Anyway, guys, see you guys later. All right. Bye.